This is Lana Clifton. I'm starting a new project this year to highlight different charities that actively work in Arkansas. And I'm starting with a great organization that helps feed the hungry in Arkansas. I've known the program coordinator for the Hunger Relief Army of City Connections, Inc. and his family for about 20 years, give or take a few. And I know he has a heart for the hurting. I just want to spend some time today chatting with him about his organization, what they do, what their goals are for 2026, and what interested folks can do to help. So let me introduce my friend, former client, and all-around great guy, Jeff Metters. How you doing, Jeff?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited to talk about this because I've got to be involved with it a little bit, and I just think it's a great program with lots of ways that different age groups and different people of all walks of life can help. So let's just start with some general information. I know the Hunger Relief Army is part of a larger organization that also helps Arkansans. What can you tell me about City Connections?
So City Connections has 3 or 4 bits and pieces. So my program is Hunger Relief Army. We have another program called Operation Restore, which is a missional employment agency for folks that are coming out of prison and rehab. It does more than just give them work because they are starting with zero possessions. And so we'll give people a back to work kit with socks, shoes, pants, shirt, underwear, laundry detergent, personal hygiene items, and everything they need to get to that first paycheck. Because as you know, it's a long time between you're hired and that first payday when you start out at zero. And so that's a really neat program. And then we have an educational component. We have a luncheon every month, and we just finished that an hour or two ago today. And each month highlights a different organization, or maybe 3 organizations that kind of have a theme. Today was human trafficking, and it's good information to help us be better advocates for people. And then we have an office space, and we rent a dozen cubicles out to folks so they can graduate their baby nonprofit to a Markham Street address with a copy room, with a meeting room where I'm sitting today, and with a desk of their own. So they're graduating off of their kitchen table into a real space. And then just the camaraderie that happens when you've got an office full of people who are all trying to change the world in their own special way is very priceless. Yeah. Encouraging.
Well, that actually sounds like a great connection to what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to have to start going to those meetings because that's exactly what I've found. There's so many great organizations. We're all trying to help people. And I think the more that we can connect and come together and, work with each other, the more help we can give. So
you and your listeners should follow and like City Connections Inc., INC, like Incorporated, on Facebook, and you'll get the invitations to RSVP or to join the luncheons, because they are really, really neat information and a great networking opportunity as well.
Okay, and I'm going to type that in the chat just so that somebody can see that later. City Connections Inc.
Yeah, on Facebook, and I think we might even have Instagram now. We have a new person that's our social media person, and so we're getting better at all that stuff.
Okay, and if I'm able to, I'll throw the link in there too in a minute. So as part of that, I know that like you've said, the Hunger Relief Army is only a small component of that whole organization. But how did it get started? Like what made them come up with this idea to pack this food in the way that it's set up?
Well, our purpose is to engage volunteers. And so this was a great fit because it engages volunteers of all ages, and we can get different kinds of people, different kinds of church people, business people, social work type people in the same room serving together and just kind of cross-pollinating. So in the past, City Connections worked with another program, and they packed something like 4 million meals in 5 years before I came along in 2019. And that it kind of fallen off with a change of leadership here. And so, but I heard all the stories about how much fun it was, and we need to get back to doing that. And so I found the outreach program that was similar to the old company, except they had a lot more flavors to choose from, and the food tasted better. And so we partnered up with the outreach program out of Des Moines, Iowa, and they're a great partner to supply all of our supplies for the parties.
So you were at the very beginning of when they started this with this new company?
Yeah, I helped them relaunch. As a matter of fact, my boss said they'd been talking about doing the food packing thing again, like they had done in the past. And my boss said, get samples from every company in the U.S. who does these parties and feed them to your teenagers. Because at the time I had a house full of teenagers, and they'll be honest and tell you which is the best tasting one, which one to not work with. And so after eating all of this food from these different companies, they unequivocally, unanimously said we need to be working with an outreach program because it has more variety and better tasting food, and it's highly nutritious food. When you eat a cup of my food, you're eating a highly nutritious meal, fortified with vitamins and minerals and protein.
Yeah, I mean, I know when we've packed, that's one of the main ingredients we're adding to there is a full portion of protein for how many people does the package? Protein. Yeah,
it's a small package, but it boils up to a pot full of food.
Yeah, so it feeds 6 people in one of those little pouches. That's amazing.
And they're really, they're good children's servings. They're good senior citizen servings. They're not Bubba servings.
Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Nutritionally speaking, it's a meal.
I understand. Yeah, like one of our sons probably would just eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or half. But yeah, and I think we've all made those kind of meals where we've made like a package of rice mix and it's small like that, but it makes a huge amount, or you can turn it into soup or something. So
yeah, everything we have swells.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, so you've been with them 7 years, is that right? Or about 7? Coming up on the 7th?
So, yeah.
Yep, coming up on the 7th year. And so I know that you've helped other nonprofits in the past. In fact, you've started nonprofits. What brought you to this one, and what has led you to stay involved for 7 years?
That's a great question because, it just occurred to me, I don't know if I've stayed anywhere 7 years, hardly. And so, with the age that we are and the station in life that we're in, it's I guess that's made it easier to stay. Really though, I'm passionate about this hunger thing. When I learned that Arkansas has more hunger than any other state per capita, that's a big deal. And and my faith tells me that feeding the hungry is on the top of Jesus' list. When he makes that list in Matthew 25 of the things that he wants for Christmas, feeding, I was hungry and you fed me is the very first one. And so, in a great society, we shouldn't have anyone that's hungry. And it's a way to, a really fun way to engage lots of people and to get, people of all ages in the same room working together, which is really hard to do. You want to go to the food bank and volunteer? Well, you got to be 16 and it might be hot, in the summer, and you want to do this, and it's just hardly anything that everyone is invited to the table to do. And so I love that about our program.
I agree with you. I think, the ones that I've been involved with, I've noticed kids as small as, I guess, 4 or 5 participating, and then people up into their 90s.
We've got sit-down jobs if you need to sit down.
Right, exactly. And so tell me a little, well, let's go back a little bit to just a little more history. I know you mentioned the numbers a little bit, but I wanted to talk to you about that. So when you started and you first got the very first year, do you have you don't have to give me exact numbers. I don't know because I didn't prepare you for this, but about how many meals did you prepare that first year?
Well, the first year was 2020, and so it was
mhm.
a different kind of year because the mothership company would just send me truckloads of ingredients, and I launched our program and engaged lots of volunteers and didn't have to pay for any of it because the hardest part of my job is the fundraising aspect. So we actually packed 843,000 meals in 2020
Wow.
during the pandemic. With social distancing and wearing masks and all the stuff, we really cranked out a lot of meals. And then the next year, I was on my own to raise the money, but we got to keep all the meals. Like in 2020, we got to keep 2% of that 843,000 meals, and the rest went back on a truck and went to food banks all over our country. So the next year was like 400 and something thousand. The next year was 500 and something thousand. Last year was 618,000. Skipped a year there. But we've grown every year up until this year. We didn't break a record this year, but we had more parties and engaged more volunteers this year than we ever had before. We just didn't break any record as far as number of meals go. But we're learning as we go. It was kind of a wonky year. Some of my heavy hitters with money were a little nervous with the market. And but we had more parties. We just switched up and made them smaller.
Okay. Well, that makes
So I could
sense.
do, like we started doing a 5,000 meal party, which we never did, but it's perfect fit for a youth group of 20 or 30 on a Wednesday night. And so we did like at least the last quarter of the year, we did not miss one Wednesday night. We were somewhere in Central Arkansas packing food and traveling to do it, but it's having a ball, engaging
That,
people.
that's amazing. And I think that, well, that kind of brings me to my next question, because I know that I did notice more, and it might be because you've got some media people helping, but I noticed it seemed like you had more parties just from what you've put on social media. So, like, kind of what on average, how many are you doing in a month?
Well,
How
probably
many?
four. I would say I think we did 47 parties last year, and that's including, I took most of May off to lay my mother to rest, and May is generally a big month for us. Strangely, we have a big May every year, but I missed most of May. But we did 47, and I feel like we'll do more this year because we're adding another aspect that I think we'll talk about later. That's even more affordable for some of the churches that don't have as much money to spend. Because my parties are not cheap, because 5,000 times anything is a significant amount of money.
Right, right. Times a penny, so. Okay, so, well, let's talk about this for a second. So, how does the whole thing work? Like from start to finish, when you find out either, well, we'll start with how you organize an actual party. So you've got an organization that says, I'm interested in throwing one of your parties and packing some meals. What do I need to do? And start us there.
Yeah, I say, well, we need a space to do it in, about the size of one parking space for every dozen people that you're going to have attend. And we need 2 or 3 banquet tables. You might call them church tables or rectangle tables. And sometimes we'll supplement with round ones. And some of these churches have round tables now, which I'm a big fan of round tables for eating, but not for doing work. But we,
It's not conducive to the assembly line process.
yeah, that's maybe the last table for packing the meals in the box. We'll use that round table. But so we start with, well, we need a place and tables, and so for some places I end up hunting. I give away this food to churches, and so they're all beholding to me. So I'm like, hey, can we use your fellowship hall? I'll give you some of this food for your food ministry. And they all say yes. Or I'll call Little Rock Church and go, hey, can I borrow your wonderful tables? And they're like, sure, you just, bring them back clean. And I do. And so like for the Chris Crane party, that you helped sponsor recently. Thank you. We borrowed Little Rock Church's tables and toted them back and forth, but we're happy to do it for occasionally. But most of the time, if it's church or most of the places we go are flush with, they're flush with tables. So then we just got to find funding. So either church, school, business, club, gang, whatever, either has money, they're going to raise money, or occasionally, if it's just somebody I really like, I'll go. Let me make some calls. Let me see what I can do, and we'll try to meet them halfway. Or occasionally we'll find money. It'll come. Money will just come, and I'll go. Okay, this one's going to be free. And so then we'll go. We'll set a date. We'll show up about 2 hours early and get it all set up, and then we'll party for an hour or an hour and a half, and then button it all up and go home.
All right. Yep. And I've seen that happen.
We packed 20,000 last night. We started at 6:30, and we were leaving. We were rolling out at 8:45.
That's amazing. So 20,000 times 6 people. How many people is that?
Well, that's 20,000 meals. 20,000
meals.
Total.
Well, yeah,
so
but you said
6. That's how many bags we made.
Oh, okay. I was thinking. So 20,000 meal. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So we're counting servings. We're counting potential mouths fed.
So 20,000 mouths fed.
Yeah.
In an hour and a half.
Yeah. The party itself was probably an hour, and then we took a half hour to clean up and load it on the trailer.
Right. Well, that counts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's time. But, that's amazing because I don't know of any other way to do that in that amount of time. You can't, a soup kitchen is not going to be able to do that, to feed that many mouths in that short amount of time. So let's talk about what happens from there. So from there, you have organizations that are standing waiting for these food products to be put in their food pantries. Is that's
right? So I was given a 20-foot trailer, and so after a party, some of the time, if it's a church and they have a food ministry, they'll just keep it for their food ministry and give it away like they're giving away their box of food every week or whatever. Lots of times, though, they'll give it all right back to me. It goes on the trailer, and then the next day or two after holding the party, I'm driving to church food pantries around Central Arkansas, whether it's Lone Oak or Pine Bluff, or I've even got some people in Hope that are really passionate about feeding the hungry, and so I do not have a warehouse. I do not desire to have a food museum. So it goes on the trailer, and then it goes back off the trailer, generally within 1 or 2 days. Because I got to get ready for the next party.
Yeah, absolutely. Because because if you're doing 4 a month, you need a quick turnaround to where that goes. Yep. Okay.
And so I probably got 100 churches on my list, maybe a little less, but almost 100 churches on my list that say I would love to have some of that. You call me.
And have you found just in since you've been doing this, that it's mostly churches that run food pantries other than the Arkansas Food Bank?
Oh, yeah. And most of the food bank's clients are churches,
Right.
There's not a whole lot of St. Darwin, food pantries. That's the way it works. Yeah. It's church people. Church people are laying their hands on poor people.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear because sometimes
you would be in trouble.
Yes. I think you're right.
In November, when the food stamps got cut off for a few days, it was churches stepping up.
That's true.
We did 40,000 meals the night before that switch got turned off. To make sure churches had food on their shelves.
That's great. So tell me, like, if you put a price on that 20,000, like if somebody wanted to know, like, what would it take? Hopefully you have some funds coming in already, but if somebody had to start from scratch and raise the money for the 20,000 meals, can you tell me a number of what that would?
Yeah. Like if a business calls me, I always shoot them a full price because I try to save my discounts for churches because businesses need a write-off anyway,
Yeah.
So a meal, it's 40 cents a serving. So we do, 10,000 servings, that's $4,000. We do 20,000 servings, that's $8,000. We do 5,000 servings, it's $2,000. And on up to there. We recently did a party with 120,000 meals. And I paid for 10,000 of those, and they paid for 110,000. So they wrote a check. It was a church, wrote a check for $44,000.
That's amazing.
And then gave it all back to me. And I gave it to 5 or 6 or 7 large church food pantries of all flavors of churches around Central Arkansas. That day and the next day, all of it was distributed.
That's amazing. And then from there into the hands of people who need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
churches have the infrastructure.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I want to work with the people who have an infrastructure. And so they've already got a program. I just want to refill their shelves so they don't have to hustle to find food. They can do the laying their hands on people.
Right.
Because that's their wheelhouse.
Exactly. Okay. So tell me, so let's switch gears to the other project that you were talking about. So I know that this is still a big passion, but there's another way that churches can help that's maybe not quite as much of a, or not just churches, any organization can help to have a little party to pack a different item. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so, it all started because of our employment service has, I told you that we give them the new employees all this stuff so they can start their life over. And one of the things was the boss lady, Joe, wanted to give them laundry soap. And so we started packing laundry soap just for our own program, but we had so much fun doing it. We're like, we can grow this and do little parties too. And so instead of 13 people per line, there's a few less tasks. So there's 7 people per assembly line, and we'll go to your church, school, business, club, gang, whatever, and we'll set up our little assembly lines, and we'll package laundry powder into single serving packages, which is perfect because, like men would use too much. To a man, if a little helps a lot of help a lot. So if you gave him a whole thing of laundry soap, it's going to be gone in a week.
Exactly.
But so we package them up in them.
I'm going to share this. Here's what it looks like right there.
Yeah, there's one. So we put a sticker on it. So it says, this is what this is, and we put the colorful beads in so that it's, you could tell that it's because people were busting our chops because we were making making plastic baggies with a little white powder in it. And we had to add some color so it was clear that this is not drugs.
Right. Drugs or any kind of food prep product. So it's not flour, sugar. It's not.
Yeah, that's right. So we make those, and one and that little party costs only $250. And we can, that could be 30 or 40 people, even more, participating in that. And it yields more than 600 single serving packages of laundry soap. And then those will go, I've got 4 or 5 nonprofits that are in the laundry business, like the Big Methodist Church downtown Little Rock has a laundry trailer. They go around and portable, and so they want it. The new Providence Park, the new little small tiny house village is wanting it. Women and Children First is wanting it, and then of course our program Operation Restore wants it, and then other churches will do it, and then they'll put them in their church's blessing box or put them in the blessing boxes around town because I think this is a true statement that food stamps do not buy soap. And so when it comes to the cash you have, it's bologna or soap. Bologna wins every time. And so people that receive this are just it's like you're handing them a bar of gold because they are so excited to have laundry soap because it's hard to come by. It's not cheap. You're a mom, you buy laundry soap, and it's not cheap to buy.
Nope. It's not. And
so we have a fun party, same fun atmosphere. And, men are vain. I'm a vain person. And so these parties, you don't have to wear the hairnet. You don't have to wear the apron. You don't have to wear gloves. You're not handling food. And so it's a little more low key in that regard. And for the men who are vain, we don't have to put on all that stuff and be self-conscious.
Gotcha. I understand. So, okay, I have, if let's say there's a church out there that's not on your list of 100 churches, and they have a food pantry, and they're interested in this, what would they need to do?
Yeah, call me, text me, email me, and I will bring them food. I'm always wanting to grow our distribution list. I have a board to please, and that makes them happy when we've engaged more churches, more businesses, more schools, more clubs. So
Okay.
I would love to add them to my list, because as we grow and make more food, we need more partners to share in it and distribute it for us.
That's good. So that's pretty easy. So they just need to go to this Facebook page, tap in, find your contact information. Actually, I'm going to share real quick a QR code. It'll let me. There we go. I think I've got it on the next. Okay, right here. So if they call or text you, or if they email you or go to that website, can they find out from there how to connect?
And what you're showing right now, that is my cell phone number. That is my email right beside the QR code. And so feel free to reach out.
Okay. And let's see. I think it'll let me zoom in. I was going to try to zoom in if it would let me, but so in case somebody's watching this on a phone, it might be small.
I can take a screenshot it and then blow it up.
That's true. Good idea. And also, if you want to contact me, I will direct you to where you need to go. So if you lose this information and you just want to reach out to me and say, how do I connect with that food packing party or the laundry detergent packing party system, how do I connect with that? I'll make sure and connect them to you. So
yeah, you feel free to share my phone number with anybody. I'm not like that.
Okay. Me
I'm
either.
free and easy.
Yeah, me either. I figure if it is somebody that really shouldn't be calling or texting me, then I'll block them. Most of the time, most people have good intentions. So except for the little bots out there. But okay, so let's see. I was going to show you this, but it's posted on your Facebook page. So I'm going to just ask you right now. I have a little video that I was going to see if I could figure out a way to share.
Sure.
Yeah, I was going to share it straight from your Facebook page that just shows a little bit about how one of the packing parties goes. Is it okay if I show one of those from your Facebook page? Okay, so let me get that worked up here. Because I just don't think it's kind of hard when I'm describing it for people to get a sense of what this is like.
Yeah, you've got to see it to get it.
You really do. And it's hard for me to even describe it to people when I'm trying to tell them what happens. So you have it's kind of a little promo video, but it's got some scenes. It kind of shows what the food looks like. And before I launch that though, Jeff, I just wanted to say there's a couple of things that you've said that I wanted to touch on. And this is really important to me when I partner with an organization. I feel like not only are you just wanting to fill mouths and provide laundry soap, you're putting thought into how to give people some dignity when they're at a low point. You're concerned about the food tasting good. You're concerned about the fact that people need to be clean and that it's hard to be clean when you're down and out. So speak to that a little bit. Tell me a little bit about why I heard those words from you. What about the dignity of a person is important to you?
Well, I mean, I don't know hardly how to say it, but it's a basic Christian belief that every single person is made in the image of God and it bears His image, and so they're infinitely valuable. Every human life is valuable and deserves dignity, and my religion, Christianity, it says when I am serving a poor person, I am serving Jesus Christ Himself. And so the question I have to ask is what I have good enough for Jesus? Am I worthy to even handle this? Because it's him I'm serving. And
Right.
that's just a game changer. And I don't have to worry about, is this person trying to get one over on me? Are they trying to take advantage of the system? No. That's between them and God. I'm serving Jesus. And that's my purpose in life. That's your purpose in life. That's, we all have a way of making money, but it's really just to fund our Jesus habit.
Exactly. I think that's a great way to put it, and that's what I've noticed about this is, even as far as down to the directions that you give us, you make sure that we understand why the protein is going in, what we're doing for these people. You give a little speech at the beginning of each packing party, and you talk about the needs in Arkansas, and why it's important for us to provide food for the hungry. And so I think it's important to highlight that part of the organization, that it's not just about giving some bland thing. It's about actually providing something that's that might be enjoyed. Because I think sometimes when people are down to nothing, there's very little that they enjoy. They take what they can get. And so maybe this is something that will be flavorful and actually bring them a little joy when they eat it. And so I hope that everybody got a sense of that as we were talking. Okay, so I'm going to play this little video real quick.
No, that was made by our new social media person. Now that I think about it, because that's Campbell. That's the Chris Crane party.
All right, that was that one, and then I had another one I wanted to show that that one that there was one that shows a shot from up above that I just thought was really cool. Let's see, where was that? Y'all can go on there and look at all these things. Well, this is actually Jeff's page. Look at that.
Yeah, that's Arkansas Christian
All
Academy.
All those people working together. I don't know. I just think it's amazing.
Yeah, those people are there. It's an amazing group of students. They have got a real culture there of service.
And so, I mean, I don't know. Just seeing all that happen above, I don't think I'd ever seen it. I mean, just seeing it from up above so that you can see the whole thing at one time. That's pretty amazing.
A big group like that.
So when you watch that and you know that you're part of making that happen, what does that do for you? What does that?
Oh, well, I tell people all the time, I'm just glad to be here. Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have a job that, that kind of makes a difference. And maybe I have an over-realized sense of destiny. It's important to me to use this one life, to spend it. And I use the word spend very intentionally. I've just got one life to spend. And so I really want to spend it on something that matters. And I feel like this does. And I feel lucky because, not everybody's gifting puts them in a place to do something that really matters. So I'm just thankful to be here and to get to do that. Because I've worked lots of jobs that I sometimes felt like I was polishing the brass on the Titanic. Just what's the point of me being here, of doing this, except for just get $1, But so I'm just grateful.
Well, I think I've been grateful to be part of it too. So I do get that, and it's I think you just get, when you're there and when you're part of that, you start feeling that you have done something that made a difference. Just to be, those of us who just get to have a little small taste of it when we come out and help. So I think it's a great way. I know that there's some kids that need service hours. Is this something they can do for that?
Oh yeah, I've got forms in hand and happy to sign them.
I've seen you sign them, so I thought that was a yes. I'm glad I wasn't wrong about that, because I've seen some posts out there asking, is there something that my kids can do? And this is something any age can do, really. Okay, so I do have one more thing that I had not shared yet, and that is the I meant to share it earlier, but it's the types of food that when we do the packing parties, the types of food and the different ways that you can help. So I'm going to start that so it'll show up bigger. So we've
Oh,
got
good job.
yeah, we've got rice and beans. We've got a dessert, which goes back to what I was saying about something that they can actually, enjoy.
Yeah. And you can trick kids into eating nutritious food.
Exactly, because it's got that protein in it. It's still got the protein. Raisin cinnamon oatmeal, so that's a good breakfast. Apple cinnamon rice. So I guess that's also a dessert, or is it kind of a
Yeah, I suppose
breakfast?
so. I don't make much of that. We'll make the one above it frequently. That's a
Hmm.
dessert, uh, but yeah, it's like a cereal,
Okay.
in a sense.
Maybe somebody who doesn't like oats and would prefer rice
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Spanish rice. Um,
Spanish rice is a huge hit because it pairs well with so many other proteins, and people doctor it up, and we make a lot of Spanish rice. It's my favorite. It's very good.
Yeah, I've heard my mom always used to say this. Now I don't know, but that rice and beans makes a complete protein. So you've got a ready-made rice and bean, but then a lot of people I think would put some beans with this Spanish rice,
Oh,
and then
for
they would
sure.
have
Yeah.
a complete protein. And then
Now,
cheesy
about our
rice.
rice and bean meal, the rice and bean meal is amazing because the beans in our rice and bean meal are fully cooked and then dehydrated. So you're a working mom or a single mom who's worked a hard day and comes home and what am I going to feed these kids? You can take my fortified rice and bean dinner and 20 minutes later, you're serving it up.
That's
Whereas
amazing.
when your mama and my mama made beans, it took all night and
All
all
day.
day to cook beans. And
They
I
had,
promise you, you cannot tell my beans and hers and your mama's apart. The texture is just right. It's really an amazing product because it'll cook as fast as the rice cooks. And that
that's
matters
great.
because we want working people. There are lots of people who are working 40 hours who are still poor. And so we
It's
want to
true,
make sure to give them something they can use.
especially with the food prices are kind of difficult right now. So
Yeah.
I know that's for sure true.
Yeah, on the
Um,
news they'll talk about the economy is doing so good, but those people don't go to the grocery store
mm-mm, right.
because it's hard. It's hard at the grocery store, and
It is.
that hits regular people in the pocket.
Yeah, especially if they've got, 5 kids. So, cheesy rice is
That
a
cheesy
good.
rice is another one of those that pairs so well with everything, and it is delicious. I like to put a little Taco Bell mild on it, and
Hmm.
you've got cuisine.
That's awesome. And then some other oatmeal here, an apple cinnamon oatmeal. I
Yeah,
think
we make a lot of that.
and I think it's great to have these breakfast choices because I think that's the meal that gets skipped a lot.
Hmm.
And
Well,
it's because they don't,
cereal is really expensive.
and it's not that healthy. It
Yeah.
doesn't have enough protein in it. It's.
And that's the thing about our two oatmeals is they're unlike anything you can buy at the Kroger. You or I get Quaker oats and eat them for breakfast. A little old lady could beat us up by 11 o'clock
That's
because
true.
it's empty carbohydrates
Right.
and fiber. But
Mhm.
every one of our meals is fortified with vitamins and minerals and protein, and so even our oatmeals are a highly nutritious food product.
Sustaining
Yeah,
food.
it'll last. Build
And
strong
then,
muscles.
and then this one down here, I don't think I've helped make this one. The pasta with tomato basil sauce. That
Yeah,
sounds like if they were able to get a hold of some meat, that would make. I mean, that's as good as like a hamburger helper
yeah,
product.
absolutely. If you got a little bit of Italian sausage or some ground beef and add it's a great meal.
Yeah, that really looks good. Okay, well, and then over here, you've got ways to help pray. If you don't have time or you're not able to get out of your house and you don't have funds, you can pray. I mean, you can call and encourage or write a note. I mean, any of those things I think are always good. just let people know that you are supporting them in mind if you can't in body. We've talked about how you host a party. We've talked about how you can connect to give. And then, so what is it? What's the difference between private party and be a host?
Okay, so sometimes a company, especially, will call and say, "I want to do a party, but it's all they have is a shop, or all they have is a small office." And so I have churches that will reach out and go, "I will be a host if you have a group that needs a space." And so, like, we've had Arkansas Pro Wash has done a party at the Nazarene Church on 65th, 65th, the Nazarene Church over by Rock Creek. What, Calvary Church of the Nazarene?
Okay.
They have volunteered to let other people use their gym because they believe in what we're trying to do. They don't even really have a food ministry. They just love people that are hungry, and so they've graciously extended their space. And we've got a Latter-day Saints church or two who's offered to let us use their space if we ever need it.
That's amazing.
So that's a great way to help, because we're putting together parties. You got to get all the components, all the stars have to line up. And so that's an important thing, that even a church that's got 100% old people that doesn't feel like they can do it and they don't have any money, but they've got a paid off building. That's an asset that they can extend and be a part of what we're doing, and it doesn't cost them labor or money. It's something they already have.
And that's important. So, and they can kind of be on standby. So if you've got the other components in place and you just need a place, you can call them up and say,
"Yep,
hey, I've got a group ready. When can we do it?" And get involved that way. So that's good. Okay, so, and then the fifth way, we've talked about this too, is to get your favorite church ministry on your list, so that you guys are putting the food in the places where they're going to get to the people. And then that way, and those people, that end provider does not pay for the food unless they also decided to fund a packing party. Is that correct?
That's right. I say this all the time. I sell parties, I give away food. So the churches that have a pantry that I'm delivering the food to, they pay $0.
Okay, I love that. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the share. Is there anything else? That's kind of the end of my questions. Is there anything else that you want to share about this, or something that I didn't bring up that you want to talk about?
Well, on the website there, you shared the QR code on our website. If you'll scroll down to the bottom, there's a yellow oval, I believe it's oval, button you can push. And so you can, you can contribute to help pay for meals. For every 40 cents is going to feed another hungry child or senior citizen in Arkansas. So feel free to scroll down and find that. I think that the button says support us.
I'm going to see if I can pull that up just so that they can see what it looks like, because I've been on the website before, and you do have to scroll all the way down. So yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna share that just so they can see what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll let you get on with your day, because I know you've got more parties to plan. So let's see. Where was I? Okay, so here is the website, and this is what it looks at the very top, and it's got, this kind of, sometimes it'll look different depending on when you come up here, and then you scroll. You've got three things here. You've got Operation Restore, Hunger Relief, and Nonprofit Hub, and so you could go there for more information. But if you scroll all the way down,
there it is.
Up here?
You passed it.
Oh, there it is.
There's the yellow.
Donate with PayPal, and it'll let you kind of choose how you do that. It's not, and you can also, are they still doing this with the Kroger?
Yes.
Kroger cards? Do you know?
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right. So that's another way you can add them. Some of you might have an organization that when you use your Kroger card, it automatically goes puts a donation in that bucket. So you can add that too. So, okay. And once you click on that yellow button, everything's easy.
Yeah,
Because
it's through PayPal, and it's very easy, and you don't have to have a whole PayPal account.
right.
You just follow the prompts.
Right. You can just put in a credit card or a debit card or whatever. It just just kind of uses PayPal as like a platform to move the money around. So,
And there's even a box you can check to make it a recurring donation. So you can do it once and walk away, and it'll take however much you say every month or whatever.
right.
Because I have people that go, make it easier, Jeff.
Yeah. So you did. It is. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being my first interview. This has been a lot of fun, and I do believe in your organization, and I'm excited to share it with everybody. Okay. So I'm going to say this real quick. There is going to be a Facebook page. There's going to be some other stuff coming out. So you guys just watch for that, because I'm excited about this project. I love what I do for a living, but this is something that's really been on my heart to promote some of these charities. So I'm excited to get started doing it. So.
Thank you, Lana.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. You have a good day.
Bye-bye.